Welcome back. It's season 4 Between the Lines with Coach Stella, man.
Let's go.
I'm here with my dog. You know what I'm saying? The man who done played with, coached with, coached for, or done played for some of the best to ever do it, especially coming out of Northeast Ohio. This is my dog, Coach Stella. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling great, brother. What's good with it?
Man, you know the vibes. It's
Season number
2026,
4, baby.
season 4, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, bro. You know, it's my favorite time of the year. High
Indeed.
school football. Shout out to my son, Daniel, a sophomore now.
D2.
So, you know, playing little special teams, you know what I mean? Trying to get his feet wet up there at Warren G. Harding, you know what I mean? Trying to get on the varsity squad. So I'm geeked up. I get to be a father first, a fan, an analyst, alumni, all in one. It's my favorite time of the year, bro.
Man, how was your off season though, man? Man, we left the last game we left.
Right.
Was in the brick code up there in Akron, man.
Man.
Good times. We watch Avon do what they do.
Yep.
At the end of the season, man. So what you been up to since the off season? For those who don't know,
Man, you know me, bro. Right after football season, I go right into coaching high school basketball. Had my last year at Highland High School. Shout out to everybody at Highland, especially all my kids I coach. Administration, everybody was great too. Was there for 10 years.
Sure.
Back at our alma mater now. Came over with my boy, Coach Boubon. He took the job, so I had to stay with my guy. Coach Boubon was my freshman. Was my JV coach when I was a freshman. I've been coaching with him now 17 years, which is crazy. So, you know, I'm rolling with my dog no matter where you go. After basketball season, we go to travel 7-on-7 season. So, you know, we got to travel 7-on-7. Shout out teamwork, dream work. Shout out all the guys.
shout out to God.
And then, you know, after teamwork, dream work, it's right in the nonprofit work, doing our camps, mentorship. Shout out to you, everybody who came last night. We had our first annual men's talk night event, which was beautiful. And then now, Between the Lines with Coach Stella, season number 4, baby. You know what it is.
For sure, man. Indeed. And we definitely gonna get back into that love your community work. I definitely want to touch bases on that a little later on the show.
No doubt.
But man, you know, I know I'm excited. I know you excited. I know our viewers, man. Shout out to our viewers, our supporters, everybody who been following the show. And let's get right into it, man.
No doubt. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, baby. We appreciate everybody who subscribed. Between the Lines with Coach Stella on YouTube. Interviews TV on YouTube, baby. Please subscribe, like, and share. We appreciate all the supporters, man.
All right, let's get right into it, man. This week's Stella Scope.
Let's do it.
These
bro.
are the games that it's week 1. These are the games that, you know what I'm saying, Coach's eye said we should keep an eye on going into week 1. So, Coach, run it down for us. Who we got?
Man, we're going to jump right into it, man. I got 4 of them, man. The first game I want everybody to keep an eye on is Ursuline at St. Francis de Sales going on the road. We know Ursuline back had a cancellation last year. I'm happy they back, especially for the kids. You know what I mean? The kids get a chance to get back out there on Friday Night Lights, have fun, play together, represent their school and their families. So I'm happy for them, man. Shout out to Coach Stevens, man. First-year head coach at Ursuline, taking over the reins. Wishing you nothing but luck coaching your first year. But they, you know, a lot of people been asking me that question, what Ursuline going to look like. And it's hard to say because, you know, other cancellation last year, we ain't really seen them. But they got talent. You know what I mean? When you look at the roster, you got Ethan Sandusky, Vinny Fecco. Shout out to my guy, Zaylen Strother, Ray Javy, Dale Peterman Jr., who one of the most electric players we got in the area. They got some big boys up front with Seth Bowen and Connor Criley. So they got a talented team. You know what I mean? I think going on the road against a good program is good because after this week 1, you feel like you right back, like nothing ever left. You know what I mean? You get to go on the road. You playing a big time program with a good team. We got a Division I quarterback. They got skilled players over there, so it's going to be a challenge. But I'm happy for the Ursuline Irish. It's, like I said, especially for the kids, man, to kind of get back out there on the field. And it's going to be a big time game on the road going to Columbus in week 1. So this will be big for them. For their confidence, for their morale, and just getting back out there on the football field to see where they are on the football team. So my coach's eye, you know, it's 2 players that I want to keep an eye on. I want everybody to keep an eye on out there. I just talked about it. Junior running back Zaylen Strother. We know Vinny Fecco probably going to be the guy. Vinny's a good football player, hard-nosed, tough guy, run between the tackles. But Zaylen is kind of a change of back and give you a little bit more dynamic. He could catch the ball out the backfield. Tore his ACL last year as a sophomore. You know what I mean? So he's back, he's healthy, and I'm looking for him, you know, to make a name for himself, to make some plays. And the other kid I'm looking at, AL, is sophomore, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Rafael Pacheco. I've been knowing Rafael his whole life. Big kid, play O-line, D-line. But the thing I like about Rafael, even watching him when he was young playing baseball, he a big kid, but he got good feet. It's hard to find big kids that got nimble feet and quick feet. So those two guys I'm keeping an eye on this week one to tell us a lot about Ursuline moving forward. But like I said, I'm just happy for the program and see what they do moving forward.
Absolutely, man. And just to caveat what you said, man, it's good to see Ursuline back in the fold.
No doubt.
I did see some clips against they scrimmage against Rose. They was playing fast.
Yeah.
They was playing fast. They was looking like the Ursuline of old.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, Joe? So just, you kind of gauge teams when you get to see them on film. If they hesitating, is they trusting what they see and playing hard. But them guys was partying, they was having fun. So I'm definitely excited to see what they're gonna do this year, and I'm glad to have them back in the fold. It's better for the area. Mooney good. We expecting to see some things out of Warren G. Harden this year.
doubt.
Again, having Ursuline back in the fold, period, is it's always good for the area.
No doubt. And like you said, doing it against Cleveland Rhodes. A lot of people sleeping on Cleveland Rhodes. Cleveland Rhodes is building their program up. Went 7-3 last year. Got multiple Division I players. So that's a good scrimmage to get ready for week one. So like you said, man, our area is always better when Ursuline and Mooney, that rivalry and those teams are playing good football. You know what I mean? And the head of attention, not the head of attention, but up at the top of the attention scale when they come in the area. So shout out to Ursuline, man. Go do your thing, man.
Indeed. Who else we got?
Man, game number 2, Walsh Jesuit at Highland. That's Medina Highland. Highland led by head coach Mike Gibbons. This is 12th year. Doing a good job building that program up. They went 12-1 last year. The year before, they went 13-1. They last 2 losses. They only got 2 losses in 2 years, both against Avon in the regional final. So that's what type of program Highland has. Doing a good job building that program. Like I said, they only got 7 returning starters this year. So, you could tell the well was, I ain't going to say dry, but they lost a lot of playmakers over the last 2 years. But with that program building it up, I know they got some young guys ready to step up and play and make a name for themselves, so to speak. You know what I mean? They also have one of the most underrated players in Northeast Ohio, Evan Faust. This is a kid who's he's versatile. He can play running back. He can play tight end. He can play linebacker. He can play safety. He's been playing for 3 years now. He'll be the head of the snakes, so to speak, you know what I mean? But he's one of the most versatile players we got in Northeast Ohio. So Highland is a really good program, and I can't wait to see him take on Walsh Jesuit coming into town. My coach's eye for Highland, bro, is how would the offense look after losing 2 of their most dynamic players they had in school history, with quarterback Grady Gibb and running back Casey Miser. So that's what I'm looking at with Highland. Good program, Division II. I'm pretty sure they moved from Region 6 to Region 5, so they wouldn't have to see Avon until maybe the state semifinals now. But keep your eye on Highland, man. That's a really good program, man. A lot of people don't know about Highland. They're doing a good job. And like I said, they got Walsh Jesuit coming into town. We know what Walsh Jesuit is. Shout out to Coach Nick Alexander in his 8th year, doing a wonderful job at Walsh Jesuit. Lost in the state semifinals last year to Avon, like you said, starting the show. We was out there. It was freezing. But Avon definitely, Walsh Jesuit definitely, had a great year. And Avon took care of their business, but Walsh Jesuit got a great program, consistently sending players D1. Shout out to Milan Paris down at Miami, came back to his area, did a back-to-school event for the kids. So Walsh Jesuit got one of the best programs in the state. Coach Alexander do a good job. I feel like they do a good job just developing and reloading. You know what I mean? They lost Keller Moten. Here come David Tornowski. You lose Milan Parrish. You got Campbell Land ready to step over in that number 1 receiver role and take over. So they got a good program. They always play one of the toughest schedules in the state of Ohio. That's one thing about Walsh Jesuit and Coach Alexander. He ain't afraid to play anybody. He going to have his kids battle tested when they come playoff time. Indeed. And it's a good program. Couple things I want to see. I want to see the quarterback David Tornowski, take his game to the next level. A lot of people don't know he played last year, and he's supposed to be having Tommy John surgery. Played through the year, had a really good year, too. Now he has surgery. I know he's feeling a lot more stronger and healthier, so I'm expecting him to take his game to the next level. The defense going to be led by senior Dario Yaris. They got senior linebackers Dominic Cortad, Emmett Tobin, and senior DB Ben Bill. So they got experience back. They got playmakers back. They got great coaching. They got tradition, chemistry, everything you need. So Walsh Jesuit at Highland week 1, got to keep your eye out for that. When it comes to Walsh Jesuit, I got my eye on, my coach's eye is just, I want to see what the offensive line look like. You know what I mean? Senior Owen Pelkowski is back to lead that group. And reason why I'm looking at that is when Walsh Jesuit has a good offensive line. They could run the ball, and they could be balanced. We know what type of program and offense they could have. David Tornowski, he plays out of a point guard style type quarterback. get the ball out of his hands, get it to the playmakers. I expect him to be able to make a couple plays with his feet more and more this year, and then seeing who can step up and take over for Marty Tobin. We seen what he did last year at running back, had a big time year. We know what Milan did, Campbell Land last year. They're going to find receivers that can make plays. But when the offensive line is good and they can run the ball and be balanced, I feel like that's when Walsh Jesuit is at his best.
Indeed. And I did my Googles on the Highland.
Okay.
Out of Medina. Them guys been winning for the last 4 years. So, like you said, when you got a winning program, it's easier to develop from within. You've been winning for the last 3 or 4 years, and those guys, they be a little bit more locked in, waiting on their turn. So it'd be interesting to see those guys and Walsh Jesuit get into it. Who else we got, Coach?
Man, third game, we got Hudson at Fitch, week 1. We was over at Fitch. We did our preseason check-in over at Fitch. We know the team and those guys is really excited about week 1. They want to definitely get this win in week 1. Let's look at Hudson first, though. Hudson is led by head coach Jeff Goff. This is 11th year. They went 10-3 last year. They lost in the playoffs to Hoban, so they had a really good year last year. The thing about Hudson is it's one of the most underrated programs in Northeast Ohio. A lot of people don't talk about Hudson. I got a lot of respect for Hudson. They beat us when I coached at Harding. In 2016 or 2017, I believe, it was one of the best Harding teams we had in a long time. They upset us in the playoffs. So my respect level for Hudson, will always be through the roof. But Hudson going to do what Hudson do. They're going to run the ball. They're really good in the screen game. Defensively, they're going to set hard edges. They're going to make you go the length of the field. They're going to make you earn points, and they're not giving up big plays. So that's what Hudson going to do. But the thing I'm looking at is, can they produce more big plays on offense while creating turnovers on defense? Reason why I say that is if you create more turnovers, offense got the ball more, they want to grind you out. If it's a basketball game, they want to cut the game in half. They want to play a half-court game. They don't want to get it up and down. So if they can create turnovers defensively, get the offense the ball more, and if we could take care of the offensive line, run the ball, but produce big plays to get us more points, that's a recipe for success right there when it comes to Hudson. And they got one of the best underrated players in Northeast Ohio. I'm about to talk about him here when I get to Fitch. But running back Reno Ferry, man, that kid can play football. If you watch his film, that kid is a football player. He can run it between the tackles, outside the tackles. He can catch it out the backfield. Not the biggest kid, but he got speed on him. That kid, I was really impressed with him watching his film in the offseason, gearing up for just doing prep work for season 4 of the show. So watch out for that kid. Then on the flip side, like I said, Austintown Fitch, man, Coach Parker in the 7th year at his alma mater doing a great job with the program. Always got a talented team. This might be one of his most talented teams he had in a long time. They loaded over there, got a lot of skill. So I'm excited to see them back, man. They got CK3 back at quarterback 1. I think Colin is a 3-year starter now, so they got leadership. You know what I mean? At the quarterback spot, somebody who's not going to be shaky. He's been underneath the lights. He know what to expect. And we always say he's a point guard. And with all the skill players, DeAndre Richard, Dion Tutwiler, Landon Masterson, Wayne Holloway, Isaiah Porch, Tata Alumakalumi, Antoine King Williams, they got skill all over the place. So his job is just to play point guard, get the ball in their hands, let them go make plays. They got a big offensive line behind senior Jaden Lumsden and junior Alabama commit Anthony Blaylock Jr., bro. So they loaded. You know what I mean? Offensively, they loaded. They got a lot of talent and a lot of skill. Defensively, you got Rashad Harris at linebacker, Vincenzo DeFlorio. I know I said that right. Shout out to Lil Vince. So they got 2 linebackers back, and they got a secondary led by Holloway, Porch, King, Williams. So that leads me to what I'm looking at is the defensive line. They lost a lot over the last 2 years. I think they got linebackers. The secondary is going to be really good. So what I'm looking at is the defensive line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Can they stop the run? Can they get disruption? Can they set hard edges? Can they get after the quarterback? If they could do that things with the secondary they got and with the linebackers that can run sideline to sideline, I feel like they'll be okay. You know what I mean? So Fitch definitely got a talented team over there, moved up to D1 this year. So I know they're looking to make noise in their first year back up at D1. And like I said, my coach's eye is just want to see the defensive line perform against Hudson trying to stop the running back Reno Ferry. He going to get the ball. He going to get it 20, 25 times. If you don't stop him, it's going to be a long night. You know what I mean? If they could do a good job up front, stopping the run, letting the linebackers run cleanly and make tackles, then I feel like they could stop the run. They could make Hudson one-dimensional, I should say. And then now with the offense you got, make them kick it to you, see if you can get some big plays in the return game, get it to CK3 on the offensive side, and get it to them skill guys and see how many points we could put up. So I feel like that's going to be that's one of the most underrated games in the state of Ohio right there. I feel like that's going to be a really good game right there.
And we talked to the guys over at Fitch, like you had mentioned during our check-in, and they're excited. They really want to get their get back against Hudson this week one. A lot of the teams we talked to during our check-in was really amped up about their week one matchup.
Yes.
A lot of them trying to get over that hump against that opponent. And Fitch is one of them teams who expressed to us how important this week one matchup
No
is.
doubt, bro.
It'll be interesting to see how they play, man. Shout out to the guys, man. What we got next?
You know what? You just said it. A lot of teams and people we got to go talk to in the preseason check-in was excited about week one that lead to the last game. Warren G. Harding got Cam McKinley.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? We know how excited Harding is to try to get this win. We haven't beat Cam McKinley in too long. And Cam McKinley got one of the best teams in the state this year. So that's going to be a big-time game. We can look at the Cam McKinley side. Head coach Renzi Parnell back for year number 2. I thought he did a really good job in his first year. They went 9-3, lost in the playoffs to Menor 25-24, which is a really good game. But I like the energy coach brought. I like how the kids play for him. Defensively, look like he tweaked some things. He's a defensive guy, so his defense was flying around, making plays last year. So I like the direction Camp McKinley is going. I feel like they got a lot of good energy around the program right now. But they got one of the most talented rosters in Northeast Ohio. Junior running back Highland West, who's one of the most explosive players in Northeast Ohio. Wide receiver Darius Hill. We know what Darius can do. He's been playing since he's been a sophomore. Big-time playmaker at receiver. Junior tight end Legacy Lee. We're going to talk about him a little bit later in the show. One of the better tight ends in Northeast Ohio. Offensive lineman Trayshawn Quincy is back. They got edge rusher Amari Mitchell back, who's a Ball State commit. Javier Moore is back. He's a strong kid. He's not the biggest kid on the D-line, but dude is a brick house. Good luck to anybody that got to block him for 4 quarters. You're going to be in for a long night. You better bring your hard hat. Senior linebacker Antonio Stevens. You know what I mean? Last year I called him Mr. Green Dot. He's making all the calls. He's making all the checks, sideline to sideline. He's a thumper. He's a plugger. He's back for his senior year. He was an all-Ohio kid last year. And then they got 2 safeties back. DeJuan Robinson, who's one of the smartest kids in Northeast Ohio, ball hawk and big plays from sideline to sideline. And probably your favorite player, one of the best players in Northeast Ohio, safety Shad Davis. I just said a lot. That's how talented their team is. So I know Coach Parnell and his squad got high expectations for themselves coming into this year, and I'm excited to see them. My coach's eye for Cam McKinley, bro, the only thing I'm looking at is how a first-year quarterback Braylon Crock looked. You know what I mean? Taking over for quarterback last year. He's a junior, quarterback 1. We talked about all the talent they have. His job is to get them guys the ball. I know he can make plays with his feet also. Got good touch on the deep ball. So he got everything he need. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get used to. Varsity football is always a challenge for a first-year quarterback. But with the coaching staff and the teammates he have, I feel like he'll do a good job getting settled in. And look out for the Bulldogs, man. I feel like they're going to have a good year. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, the home squad, we always represent Warren G. Harding. We from where we from. We love who we love. All right, Coach Rich in his 3rd year. Last year they had a rough year. They went 3-6. But when you look at the Raiders, they got a lot of talent. You know what I mean? They got 4 Division I players. Junior edge Asa Birch. Junior running back Makai Brockton, who been looking really good in the scrimmages leading up to week 1. Makai did a good job getting in the weight room. His body looked good, but he kept his speed also. So now you got a bigger back who can also hit his head on the goalpost at any time. You got senior Central Michigan commit Matt Richardson, who plays both sides. He's dynamic on offense. He's a really good DB at corner. And you got Cincinnati commit Xavion Smith, who's an O-line, D-line guy. Could play the 5 tech on defense, play tackle on offense. You throw in there Elijah Phillips, one of the best safeties in Northeast Ohio. Really good tacker, really good instincts. And senior quarterback James Jones. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year, have a good year, but he got a big arm. He's been making good throws in the scrimmages leading up to week 1. So the team is talented. You know what I mean? They have enough talent to have a good season and make a playoff run. Simple and plain. My coach's eye for Warren G. Harding. I even told some of the kids when I seen them, my number one thing I'm looking at with Warren G. Harding this year is this ain't got nothing to do with the coaches, parents, community, nobody. I'm talking to the kids on the football team, particularly starting with the seniors and trickling down. Do we have any intangibles as a team, as a program? You know what I mean? Are we mentally tough? Are we physically tough? Can we handle adversity? When we get sudden changes, are we going to come together more or are we going to point the finger? Those are the type of things I'm looking at with Warren G. Harding. If we could have winning intangibles with the talent they have, I feel like they could have a good season and get in the playoffs and see what could happen. That's what I'm looking at right there, brother.
Indeed, man. Indeed. And that's, that week 1 game. I just actually happened to run into Mekhi Brogdon right before the show. And we spoke briefly at the store as I ran into him about how they want to get this week 1 game. And just to caveat what you're saying is, as far as them in the scrimmages, what I was looking at is, how they bounce back from different plays of adversity.
Yep.
Right. So you know what I'm saying, you have a play where there may be a loss, they get hit behind the backfield, maybe a turnover, whatever. But I did see, senior quarterback doing senior quarterback things, picking up his team. I seen Mekhi respond after putting the ball on the ground. And then E and Matt, I like to talk about them together because, E bringing the thud, Matt bringing the playing all over, flying ball hawking. Like you said, I think Harding definitely got the talent. And, but like they even their coach said, you got to do it.
You got to do it. Winning intangibles,
you
man.
Do it.
You will not ever see a good team in any team sport that don't have good winning intangibles as a team. Can't just be a couple guys. You know what I mean? Everybody got to be on the same accord. We all got to walk the same walk. We all got to talk the same talk and have the same mission on Friday nights. Nothing matters less Warren G. Harding has more points than the other team. That's it. That's all. Fact. It's enough talent out there. Week 1 might be your week. Week 2 might be my week. Who knows? Nobody should care. Let's go do whatever we have to do to win the game. And sometimes doing whatever I have to do to win the game may be blocking, may be tackling, may be playing special teams, maybe being on the sideline, keeping good energy. I don't know, making beats with your pass, doing whatever you need to do. We need everybody in Warren G. Harding land to be committed to the win, play with winning intangibles, and then if you do that, you got the talent to see what happens.
Yep, and a lot of those young guys gonna get an opportunity to introduce themselves to the Northeast Ohio football community because we talked about the heavy hitters on both sides, which leaves room for those younger guys to squeak in there and make a big play, whether it be special teams or making a big stretch in the field. One of those speedy young receivers stretching the field. On the other side, Shaw Davis, like you mentioned, all of those guys. Shaw Davis, that's my guy. We've been watching him since he was a sophomore.
Shout out to Mr. Football, Shaw Davis, man. Mr. Football, that's what I call him.
It's his time. He remind me of like a CJ Newell. Like I get that same type of energy from him. You know what I'm saying? He gonna let the other team know he out there. You know what I'm saying? He gonna pop something. So, man, we looking forward to seeing that matchup and see
no doubt, baby.
Cam McKinley and Warren G. Harding matchup. Who next, Coach?
Man, that's all we got for the Stella Scope, baby. 4 good games. Keep your eye on those games, man. Have some of the best games in Northeast Ohio. All good programs, all good teams that got playoff aspirations and should be able to get in the playoffs this year. So then the 4 games I got my eye on, man. Stay tuned and look out for them 4 games.
That's tough, man. Them is 4 tough games.
No doubt.
Week 1.
No doubt. And we ain't even talked about the Ellie House games of the week.
Man, this is week 1. If y'all can't get excited about this, I don't know. You might be in the wrong place, man. We'll be right back. Between the Lines of Coach Stella, Season 4.
Mario Manningham, stay locked in between the lines and Coach Stella.